It is time we defend the Texas Guard. Defend the Texas Guard. What does that mean? And who's holding this up from being passed in the Texas legislature? Let's talk about that. Defend the Guard. What is that?
Well, Defend the Guard is a bill that essentially says to the federal government that we're not going to be sending any Texas National Guard to foreign wars without a formal declaration of war. It's a bill that we've been talking about here on and off on Come and Talk It. It's a bill that I'm championing here as a part of the Austin Republican Liberty Caucus here in Texas. And like you said, there is an update here. As we've been trying to get this bill passed, we had a big testimony last year. Over a dozen veterans came out to support this bill, and so far this year, we've been getting slapped in the face by a certain representative, Representative Terry Wilson. He's the chair of the Defense and Veterans Affairs Committee. He's holding Defend the Guard, also known as HB 184, hostage. He will not let this bill be heard. And so, one of the things we're asking our viewers, we're asking all Texans to come out, is to call Representative Terry Wilson at his phone number and demand this bill be heard. His number is 512-463-0309. So call that number, make sure your voice is heard. He is essentially obstructing the Constitution. This is something that we should be demanding as Texans to make sure that our National Guard is in Texans, not in foreign wars. And the Congress has been essentially going against the Constitution for years. This is a power that we granted the Congress, the people. This is a power that we granted them, and they're abusing it.
So what's happening is you're saying that you know, whenever we get a president that's a warmonger and he wants to send troops, just to do whatever they're doing without any real justification and a declaration of war by Congress, we're saying you can do that with federal troops, but not with the Texas National Guard.
Absolutely. We need our guardsmen here in Texas. We need guardsmen really in all sorts of states. This bill is being passed, is being pushed right now. It's actually being pushed in Arizona. That'll likely be passed here soon. Why are we letting states like Arizona lead on this issue nationwide when us as Texans should be leading on this issue?
So we're saying is we need our Texas National Guard to defend the border of Texas
Absolutely.
because we have issues down at the border. So why aren't we using the Texas Guard for that rather than using the Texas Guard in other countries?
Absolutely. And there's so many different issues. I mean, think about the various natural disasters we've had in the last few years, from Hurricane Harvey to this various power outages. I mean, one fact many people don't know is that back during Hurricane Katrina, there was actually not many National Guard in Louisiana and Texas around the surrounding states. They were in foreign wars. I believe they're in Iraq at the time. So we had to, as a nation, bring in National Guardsmen from Idaho and the Midwest to the Deep South to be able to help out Louisiana.
All right. So who's this low dog ponytail sucker that's holding up this bill that's not trying to defend our National Guard? And what's his justification for not allowing this bill to be heard in the committee?
That's a good question, Michael, and I hope all of the viewers call in and ask him. This is Representative Terry Wilson. He's actually out of HD 20, right above us, just out of Austin, pretty much north of Austin. So we're right in his backyard, if you will.
All right. So
Um,
Terry Wilson. Terry,
yeah,
I know Terry. What's Terry's phone number?
his phone number. Let me pull that up right one more time. That is 512-463-0309. I'm going to say that one more time for the viewers. Call this number, 512-463-0309. Call Terry.
Because Terry doesn't have any problems with sending troops overseas, but he doesn't want to use our troops to defend our Texas border instead.
Yeah, this is a slap in the face to all Texas veterans. We had a hearing on this 2 years ago, and over a dozen people came out. People know that this bill means a lot to the veteran community, and the fact that he's holding this hostage, he won't even let it go through for a hearing. That's just an insult to us as Texans. It's an insult to the veterans and to the U.S. Constitution.
Hmm. Terry Nichols. What's that number one more time?
Terry Wilson, chairman of the Defense and
Terry
Veteran
Wilson.
Affairs Committee. That's Representative Terry Wilson. That number is 512 463 0309. I also put it in the chat for our viewers on YouTube. Call Terry Wilson and let him know that you want to get HB 184 passed. You also want to get it heard. You want to let this bill be heard because he's holding this bill hostage. We need to get Defend the Guard heard in the Defense and Veterans Affairs Committee because Terry Wilson is holding this bill hostage. Please
Mm.
call 512 463 0309.